As summer is winding down in the northern hemisphere, I thought I would take a detour from Battle Royale and go to the original version of this game, Save the World. I played Save the World a couple of times around 2019, but only used it when I needed V-Bucks. Around the beginning of May of this year, I picked up the game again, put some efforts into the missions, and paid attention to the story, and I found this so interesting. I'm still in this Save the World hole and wanted to cover this iceberg chart created by Rodus Clips YT. There is a video by the PR844 that is similar to the one that I am making, but mine is updated and includes different entries that he did not include. I will link his video below, so be sure to check it out. Let me know if you enjoy these kinds of videos by liking, commenting, and subscribing. I do have a long Battle Royale version that I started in 2022, but I had pushed it back for several years due to other topics I wanted to cover. Let me know if you want to see that, but enough of that. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Oh, I forgot to mention what an iceberg chart is. An iceberg chart is a visual tool that uses the metaphor of an iceberg to describe the concept of what is known versus what is hidden. Typically, more familiar or common information is represented at the top of the chart, whereas more obscure or unknown information is more towards the bottom. Ray. Ray is a female robot created by Dr. Vinderman. She was designed to be Dr. Vinderman's new assistant after Desiree left. Because of this, Ray is greatly inspired by Desiree and is built to mimic Desiree's likes and dislikes. Ray assists the player in their quest to save the world. Vindertech. Vindertech is a technology company in Fortnite Battle Royale and Save the World. Vindertech manufactures various weapons and items in Chapter 1, although they are shown in later chapters. For example, the company uses two logos. One is the well-known V-Bucks symbol, which serves as a currency and is shown on the battle bus. The other logo, similar to the V-Bucks but doesn't have the letter V, is used on weapons and items. If you're a Save the World player, you may recognize this logo on weapons that are part of the Vindertech set, as well as on devices that assist in completing missions. In Battle Royale, some weapons and items have this logo too, like the minigun, jetpack, gliders that have the old opening animation, and supply drops before Chapter 2. The Commander. The Commander is us, the player. It's similar to how we are loopers in Battle Royale. Blue Glow. Blue Glownium or Blue Glow is the primary source in Fortnite Save the World. It is often used to activate mission objectives and can be found scattered across the map. Scammer Gets Scammed. This is a series by Twine Cheeks where you scam scammers. It's an overall tactic in Save the World where you build a 1x2 structure, build a window between each player, and place the loot you want to trade on each corner. When the window is edited, you can pick up your weapon and the other player's weapon, edit drop them down, or any other way to scam other players. Storm King. Storm King is a boss you can fight in the quest Battle Royale, spelled Royal, on page 18 of the Candy Valley quest. You can fight him again, but that's a later entry. Hashtag Save the World. Without getting too deep into specifics, as this relates to another entry that is lower in this iceberg, this hashtag trended on Twitter after Epic published a state development update article stating that the main story of Save the World was complete. Again, I'll elaborate further in a later entry, but basically, the hashtag was due to the player base being unhappy that the Save the World story had ended. Animals. On March 1st, 2022, Fortnite had an update that introduced wildlife, including raptors, boars, wolves, chickens, crows, and frogs to save the world. Players can tame them by luring them with consumables such as meat, corn, or mushrooms, and either jumping on them or holding a button. Event Llamas. Event llamas in Save the World are llamas that appear during specific in-game events or celebrations. Some of these llamas no longer exist due to be part of a limited time mode or events, but the ones I could find are Storm Llama, Scavenger Choice Llama, Fortnitemares Llama, Vindertech Llama, Holiday Survival Llama, Spring Llama, Into the Storm Llama, Blockbuster Llama, Road Trip Llama, Birthday Llama, and Winter Llama. I said llama so much that it doesn't even sound like a real word. Cypher PK played Save the World. On April 13th, 2022, Cypher uploaded a video titled, "I tried the first ever version of Fortnite." However, he failed to mention that it was Save the World and not the first ever build of Fortnite. What it actually is the first archive build of Fortnite, Online Test 6.5, which was released in 2016, not 2014, and could be run through Mercury. The true first build of Fortnite dates back to 2011 and is considered lost media. However, Fortnite Archive has the build and shows it off. but I'm not sure if it was given to Fortnite Archive or if it came from someone within Epic. What you are currently viewing is the 2011 internal version shared with Fortnite Archive. Steel Wool. Steel Wool is a rock band. The members are Lars as the guitarist, Sid as the vocalist, Carlos as the bassist, and Anthony as the drummer. They are pretty important to the story as they are mentioned throughout Kenny Valley, and you can unlock all members except Lars by completing their respective missions. They are the original Fortnite festival crew if you think about it. Hit the Road. Hit the Road is a limited time event that takes place during the summer or the blasted Badlands season. In this mission, your goal is to escort a truck and protect it from husks. It's one of the harder missions where you need other players to complete it, and there are 4 randomized objectives. Completing it takes about an hour because the truck moves quite slowly. Frost Night. Frost Night is a limited time event that takes place during the winter or the Winterfest season. In this mission, your goal is to keep the Yule burner burning for as long as you can. To keep the burner burning, you put blue glow in it. The burner acts as a storm shield, and as it decreases, so does the storm circle. This mission is one of the longer ones as it lasts about an hour and 30 minutes to complete. Dungeons. Dungeons is a limited time event that takes place during the fall or the Fortnitmare season. In this mission, the goal is to make your way through by collecting keys from Husk and then defeating the boss at the end. There are 5 maps to choose from: the Crypts, the Inferno, the Grotto, the Labyrinth, the Lab. Each map has 4 levels and the Overground. On each level, players need to find a shadow key and destroy 3 to 4 monoliths to obtain a Husk key in order to progress to the next level. This is a collaborative effort as it is a dungeon crawler style game mode where players work together. Starter Packs. Starter Packs are basically beginner packages that include a set of items or equipment. They provide essential items and instructions for starting a particular activity or process for the first time. In Fortnite terms, that means you get a free skin with a pickaxe, back bling, missions to earn free V-Bucks, and free access to Save the World. It's crazy to see how many starter packs they have for Save the World. It almost makes me want to collect them all, but I only have Dr. Vinderbot, which, let's be honest, is the only one you really need. Moonglow Rainbow Crystals. Moonglow and Rainbow Crystals were given to players as a massive compensation grant after an inventory wipe error. It will never be obtainable even if they ever make tier 6 weapons. Mythic Storm King. Earlier, I mentioned that you can fight him again, and that's true. In Twine Peaks, players must reach home base power level 122, clear Twine Peaks Storm Shield Defense 5, and defeat 2 mini-bosses in a power level 140 zone to unlock the chance to fight him. He is much stronger than the first time. God Rolls. Okay, so I actually did not know about this until recently. Before the re-perk system was introduced, players relied on RNG to get a good perk for their weapons and traps. These perks are all crit or crit damage with an elemental damage effect, all damage with an element damage effect, or the rarest one, a weapon with 2 elemental damage effects. The re-perk system has made God Rolls outdated, but it's interesting to look at this part of Save the World's history. Mythic Weapons. Mythic weapons were introduced in update 11.20 and can be obtained after defeating the Mythic Storm King. Players still need to fulfill specific requirements and complete pre-quests to obtain these weapons. There are 2 melee and 3 ranged weapons, and these weapons look insane. Just look at them. The team did an amazing job. Locke is a toaster. I don't think I need to elaborate further, just look at him. Mythic leads are based off of real people. Okay, so this is interesting. Lead survivors are characters used to build survivor squads. Each mythic leader is based on real or video game characters, and White Sushi listed each mythic and who they relate to, so be sure to check it out. Challenge the Horde Bash. In Horde Bash, you start with a base and some materials. You enter a shared building area with other players, and in each corner, there's an atlas that each player needs to protect. All 4 bases are going to be attacked, and they all have to be defended from incoming waves. It seemed like a fun mode where you can see what other players have built to protect their atlas and what skills they have. Unfortunately, this game mode has been removed and reworked into Challenge the Horde as part of the road trip event, but it's not the same. PL 144 Weapons. Power level 144 weapons are the highest level items you can get in Save the World. Normally, weapons max out on 130, but using superchargers, you can reach higher levels. I'll explain superchargers in a later entry, but for this entry, you need 5 superchargers to reach power level 144. Mr. Beast. Not to be confused with Mr. Beast, Mr. Beast, who goes by Beast, is a Fortnite Save the World YouTuber. He does post other content, but Save the World is his primary focus. Metal Team Leader was in the BR item shop. On July 3rd, 2020, Fortnite introduced the Metal Team Leader pack, the first of many Save the World starter packs. It cost $15.99 to purchase, after being lowered from $19.99. The pack included access to Save the World, challenges for V-Bucks, and a Papa Bear schematic. Well, on January 10th, 2021, the skin appeared in the Battle Royale item shop and it cost 1,200 V-Bucks. The skin did not include access to Save the World, challenges for V-Bucks, or a Papa Bear schematic. It's kind of weird that they made it available to purchase despite it being a starter pack. This isn't the first time they added a starter pack to the item shop, and starter packs now say, and may return in the future. Exclusive skins are annoying, but what can you do? Superchargers. You can obtain superchargers by playing adventures, completing weekly missions, and side quests. Superchargers can be used to exceed the maximum power level, and you can supercharge various items such as heroes, weapons, traps, and survivors. They are a pain to grind, but is it really worth it? You decide. Chrome Husk. This variant of the Husk is a chrome version of the regular Husk. Chrome Husk are a tougher variant of the normal Husk enemy and can revive themselves after being knocked down unless they are eliminated by using fire or water elemental weapons. It is considered a mini-boss in some missions. X-Ray Tickets. X-Ray Tickets were supposed to replace V-Bucks rewards for non-founder Save the World players when the game was supposed to transition to free-to-play. Since the game never switched to free-to-play, this change never happened. But founders do receive X-Ray tickets as well as V-Bucks when completing quests or missions that include V-Bucks as a reward. Honey item. Honey was a crafting ingredient in early alpha acquired via expeditions or tree harvesting during missions. Since crafting weapons now require different materials, they no longer serve a real purpose and are useless. Stand and Fight boombox in Stonewood SSD. If you go to the back of Stonewood's Storm Shield, right where the soccer field is, you will find a picnic table with a boombox on top. Approaching the boombox will give you the option to play the Stand and Fight soundtrack. I believe this feature is unlocked only after completing the main quest and Save the World. It didn't appear in both versions of Fortnite I have, but here is a clip of someone showing it off in their Storm Shield. Loot boxes. Before January of 2019, Save the World used to sell loot boxes in the form of llamas. These llamas were blind draws that cost 50 V-Bucks and contain random skins, weapons, or other loot. However, after update 7.30, any llama purchase would allow players to see the contents before buying. The llamas were also renamed to X-Ray llamas due to being able to see their content. This change was probably in response to a lawsuit that was settled in 2021. Vouchers. There are two types of vouchers, weapons and heroes. They both allow you to redeem legendary or mythic event heroes or weapons from the collection book. You can get vouchers by leveling up in adventure zones. Husk in space. This refers to the satellite connection cutscene where we see Husk floating in space, and Ray says,
"Oh great, they're in space too. Let's deal with that later."
This part is speculative, but perhaps this would imply that some missions would be carried out in space. It would make sense considering there's a material called moonglow crystals, but that just might be me coping for Fortnite to finish the story. OG Prison in Autumn Foothills. I was confused by this until I played a game in Autumn Foothills. There's a spot that reuses assets from the prison POI from Chapter 1. The reused assets are from after the meteor's impact in Season 4. Spectrolite Ore. This ore was originally planned to be added to a zone beyond Twine Peaks, but it never happened. It was later accidentally given to players due to a bug, but I could not confirm that. I understand that Spectrolite is a gemstone in its own right, but why did they use bismuth crystals as the inspiration? Homebase was originally bigger. I believe this refers to looking at the map of Homebase in Stonewood. It seems much bigger, and perhaps it was implemented earlier in Save the World, but was later removed. Storm King Pin. In 2017, Epic Games ran a promotion in which players who defeated the Storm King and Save the World would receive the Storm King Pin for free. The promotion ran until the end of 2018, but many players claimed that they didn't receive the pin. The package would say that it was lost in transit. T-posing Seabot. Throughout the glitches in Save the World, this one seems to be the most prominent. Although I have not experienced it myself, there are countless photos online showing it. Animals fall through the map. This glitch happens when animals spawn incorrectly, causing them to spawn under the terrain. I've only seen this happening with frogs, which I believe are the buggiest animals in Save the World. They jump while spazzing out, moving back and forward at Mach speed, and when I try to shoot them, they do not die. Fortunately, this glitch does not impact gameplay. The storm came once before. I believe this was referring to the petroglyphs that you see in the caves in Canny Valley. In those caves, you see trolls, blasters, and husks, which could mean that the storm has likely been here before. BR hoverboards and Save the World. In update 7.40, the driftboards were introduced in Battle Royale and Save the World. However, not only were the driftboards laggy, but it was pretty much useless since we already have a hoverboard that you get pretty early in Save the World. In February 2019, they removed the driftboards in Save the World and has not returned since. I totally forgot that driftboards were in Save the World. It felt like I unlocked a core memory. Twine Beans. I believe this is meant to talk about the Storm Shield and Twine Peaks. In that area, there's a lava pit, and in an earlier version of Fortnite, the lava looks like beans, so players called the Storm Shield and Twine Peaks Twine Beans. Sadly, it no longer looks like that. Rest in peace, Beans. Power Chord is Penny's sister. Penny has a sister named Lyanne, which is Power Chord in Save the World. Poisonous Coconut. In one of the tropical locations in Scurvy Shoals, there's a coconut that says consume instead of search. When you consume it, your character locks up. You can walk around, but you can't switch weapons, sprint, or build, and you keep taking damage for the rest of the mission. The Villainous Council. Earlier in the Iceberg, I mentioned dungeons and its various maps. One of these maps, the lab, features a story about a villainous scientist, Chaos Agent, who worked for the Villainous Council. He was sent by the council to help us in stopping the Good Doctor's plan, which involves a storm, husks, and humans. When players listened to this story, they thought it would be a good opportunity to add the Twine Peaks story, but nothing came from it. Scrapped Founders Emote. This is just a rumor, but Storm Salutations was expected to be a Founders emote. It was in the files since Update 3, which is Chapter 1 Season 3, but it was eventually scrapped. Ghost Boss Material.
Bonus objective complete! You just might be Ghost Boss material yourself!
During Fortnitemares 2019, there was a mission called Survive the Night. When the bonus objective was completed, then his dialogue became bugged and he kept repeating the same line throughout the entire mission. Soul Sucker. Soul Sucker is just another name for the Taker. The reason why some characters call them Soul Suckers is because in earlier versions, the Taker would suck the player's character's life from their bodies, as you can see here. Yoda Easter Egg in Swamp Zone. I think this comment refers to the Star Wars Easter egg in Hexylvania, as it's the only place with a swamp area. However, I'm not entirely sure because I never watched Star Wars. Yes, okay, you're allowed to boo at me. Demonic Screams. This could be talk about how every mist monster in Save the World has its own demonic screams, or some ambient sounds have demonic screams that you hear in the distance. Football Chicken. This one, I have no clue what it means. Let me know in the comments if you know. I thought maybe it was how you can play a game of football by throwing the chicken. 68%. This refers to the No Dancing questline where Major Oswald says,
"Most importantly, during the love storm, our combat efficiency dropped 68%!
68%?
Actually, it dropped slightly more, but I didn't want to tee anyone up for a cheap joke. Because there's nothing nice about combat inefficiency!"
Blue Glow Crisis. I'm really stuck on this one. I searched everywhere to figure it out, but no luck. If anything, I think there's an abundance of blue glow, and sometimes they spawn right in front of me. Please let me know in the comments if I'm missing something. Cloaked Star is a war criminal. Players are saying this because in the Blockbuster questline, it was revealed that Cloaked Star lost his wife and now wants to kill everything even if it means he dies. It's assumed that he committed war crimes in hopes of dying but has not been able to. His backstory is pretty depressing. Unused Werewolf Mist Monster. It was originally planned for Save the World to have a werewolf as a mist monster. I'm not sure how long it's been in the files, but I can confirm it's present in Online Test 6.5. You can summon it, but there's no animation or audio associated with this model, which makes me believe that was early in development and was scrapped shortly after. Here is some concept art of the werewolf mist monster. There are other variants of it and it was created by Nathan Batchelder. Dragon weapons do affliction damage to the terrain. I know dragon weapons have unique affliction damage. They have a built-in, using that term loosely, affliction damage, but they also have a 6th perk, which is Roman candles, which can damage the terrain. However, I'm not sure if the creator was talking about that. Let me know in the comments if I'm missing something. Troll face, troll shirt. So when I show you this, What comes to mind? Okay, fair. But this refers to alleged Fortnite merch featuring the troll making the troll face. I say alleged because no one has ever mentioned it, and checking Epic's merch store at the time didn't show anything, only this mousepad. The llamas are alive. This refers to the remains of a llama seen in Battle Royale in Chapter 1. I believe there are two versions of llamas, a real one and loot llamas. In Save the World, loot llamas have no skeleton. This is further confirmed when hovering over a llama in the llama shop. Unused rural zone. I'm not sure which specific rural zone the creator of this iceberg was referring to, but there are multiple maps that have never made it to the main game, especially in online tests. I mean, just look at this PvP map. How did the pirate ship get into the grotto? Earlier in the iceberg chart, I mentioned the dungeon game mode and a specific map called the grotto, which appears to be pirate themed. In one of the lower levels, there's a pirate ship. Well, that raises the question, how did it get there? Well, my game theory is that it was rifted in there. Crackshot is a furry. In the Holly Jolly ransom quest, Penny said,
Crackshot, you strike me as the kind of guy who appreciates a furry cuddly friend.
And Crackshot got defensive and said,
Whoever told you that is a no-good fur-faced liar!
Sorry, I honestly didn't think this was an upsetting question.
And then later said,
Yes, I've been to 2 conventions, but both were the result of a series of hilarious misunderstandings.
And finally revealed,
And yes, I have a persona, but it was created out of a sense of duty to the other convention goers.
Ray wrote inappropriate fanfiction. In the Beyond the Stellar Horizon event questline, during quest number 5, our task is to help Azalea find everything she needs to rebuild Eddie. Let me play the dialogue.
We are weeks into pre-production and we don't even have a cast.
We're here to pick the cast, right now.
It should have been done last month. We are burning through our budget.
Has anyone read the script? It is unfilmable and shockingly R-rated.
What script? Oh my god, Dennis, what have you done?
Is that your fanfic? Hand to Zeus Ray, I did not fic snitch. I deleted it.
He did, and that triggered the Dennis Redundancy Program.
Oh no, the Dennis Redundancy Program!
Wait, what?
Everything you delete is backed up and sent to most of home base. You delete a lot of supercritical data. We honestly thought you were a spy for a while, but yeah, no.
I'm ruined! Seabot, throw me in the ocean!
I am Seabot.
Find them, the sea, whatever!
Everyone calm down.
No!
We cannot function with this much chaos on set. Commander, I have a friend who can help. Let's go find him.
Captain,
You sound strange. Where are you?
I've started a new life, where no one will ever find me.
Hey, what's with this upside-down bucket on the floor?
Occupied! Captain Clark, did you read my fanfic?
No.
Can you promise to never ever 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 read it?
Help me rebuild my friend, and you have my word.
Ned is a time traveler. Ned is a time traveler. It was revealed in the Long Road Home questline that he was supposedly present when somebody broke time, which resulted in him being trapped in a time loop and teleporting to various places throughout time. That's why he says,
Thank you. I was getting worried. I know it's a lot to ask. I really can't leave without it. It's somewhere nearby.
Jason Voorhees in the grotto. Outside the grotto, before entering the dungeon, if you look around, you can find the Friday the 13th reference where you can see Jason's mask on a stick. Secret Gnome Society. Gnomes have been in the game since the beginning, and they're kind of like the bears. Gnomes have their own story that you see unfolding while completing main missions. Some are lighthearted fun, while others are weird, and sometimes are downright creepy. Smasher Figurine. The Smasher figurine was never available to the public and was exclusively given to Epic employees or YouTubers who created Fortnite content in the past. It is now a collectible and valuable item. Red Hydra. This refers to a design change of the Hydra weapon. If you were an alpha or an online test player, you might remember the Hydra looking something like this, instead of this. As Fortnite's development progressed, the Hydra had their colors and design changed. Drunk Ray. Drunk Ray happens when she's away from home base. She starts to malfunction and is obsessed with beans in that state.
I'm literally made for home base. And when I'm not there, I start to mouth. I work wrong.
Galaxy Nocturno. The term Galaxy Nocturno was created by scammers to trick players into trading all their weapons for a fake weapon. To understand this better, let's talk about the Founders Nocturno. The Founders Nocturno is one of the most powerful rifles in Save the World. It was originally only available by purchasing the Ultimate Founders Pack for $99.99, which is no longer available since Save the World is considered complete. For players that were skeptic about the Galaxy Nocturno, there was a glitch that could give the weapon a galaxy effect. By using Field Agent Rio and her Phase Cannon perk, the weapon will have this starry effect around the weapon, further proving that they have the Galaxy Nocturno. V-Bonks. This is a term used by the community as a joke for V-Bucks. 13.20 Incident. In Update 13.20, Epic Games posted a State of Development update for Fortnite Save the World. In that post, they announced that the main storyline of Fortnite Save the World has been completed, and as a result, there will be no advance to the Twine Peaks storyline. Since the story is over, Epic decided to retire the Legacy Early Access label. While the story is over, they do sometimes add things in. Like recently, they did add a questline story, and there are some quality of life improvements. One of the biggest improvements was being able to build into terrain. V-Boinks. This is another term used by the community, also as a joke for V-Bucks. Mythic Perks. I believe this refers to team perks. Mythic heroes unlock exclusive team perks, and it's only if you have access to that mythic hero. Backrooms under Twine SSD. In Update 21.20, Fortnite introduced sprinting, sliding, mantling, shoulder bashing, and crouching to save the world, which personally was a much needed update. But since this was a new feature and the map was not built with these new mechanics in mind, it resulted in an interesting view of Twine's Storm Shield. Plasmatic Discharger used to be all weapons and no weapons at the same time. I believe this is referring to the time that the Plasmatic Discharger didn't have a weapon category, making it overpowered with environmental damage. It was even able to damage the horns of the Storm King due to this missing category, but this issue was later fixed in Update 22.40. The game takes place on Venus. This theory was based on a MatPat video where he explains that the game takes place on Venus. At the time, he did seem to be correct, but changes to the story, especially Battle Royale in the metaverse, pretty much disproves this theory. Tim Sweeney Apparition. This one is crazy. It's talking about a time where players would demonic late at night. It's just a troll entry. And with that, the Save the World Iceberg is complete. Sorry this is pretty long. I wanted to make sure I got everything right in this iceberg. Thanks again to Rodus Clips YT for creating this, and thank you for watching. This is my first Save the World video. If you want to see more, let me know, and maybe I'll make more Save the World videos. I have other Fortnite videos that you can check out here, but besides that, I love you all, and I will see you very soon.